Are you ready for marriage? Let's find out. Hi, my name is Dr. Kerry Dukes, and I'm the founder of the How To University, where we answer the questions that people ask. We do assessments for mental health counselors and trucking companies, along with working with substance abuse victims and folks who are actually just preparing to go to college. We do these and we provide these assessments to try to provide you with some context for the challenges that you're facing. Before you decide to make a change, you need to be ready to change. And it's our goal to make sure you know whether you're ready or not. So let's get started. Now, the first thing I want you to do is take out a sheet of paper or an Excel spreadsheet, and I want you to write these four columns at the top. I want you to title one variable, the next one raw score, then the average AVG, and independent variable percentage. These will be important at the end, but this is where I want you to start. So take out a piece of paper or take out an Excel spreadsheet, something that you can actually write on as we go through the evaluation and your assessment of whether or not you're ready for marriage. All right, the first variable we want to measure is context. And what do we mean by context? Well, in layman's terms and in real world application, context is bias. And a lot of people hear a lot about bias today. Well, what does that mean? That's not good, that's not bad. It's just the things that we've experienced in our life up until this point has led us to think and feel certain ways about certain things. It's not good and it's not bad. So I don't want you to think of context or bias as being a positive or a negative thing item. It just is. And every single person has those inherent biases that they've kind of grown up with, or their community or their home situation has caused them to feel and act certain ways. The first component we want to measure, though, is context. So in other words, we're trying to get a feel for where are you coming from as an individual while you're making this step into marriage. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to answer the following questions. Now remember, 1 is absolutely disagree and 10 is absolutely agree. So on a scale of 1 to 10, answer these questions. Question number 1, I'm looking forward to getting married. Question number 2, not counting my future spouse, I have someone to help me prepare for being married. And question number 3, my parents are still together. Again, 1 being absolutely agree and 10 being absolutely disagree. So if you look at my score for my context variable, it would be 25. So I want you to put whatever the combination of those 3 variables are for your score and put that number in your raw score file. Moving on. Value. The next variable we need to consider when we're trying to determine whether we're ready to do something or ready to change from one state to another is whether or not we actually value it, right? So again, 1 being absolutely disagree, 10 being absolutely agree. I want you to answer the following 3 questions. Number 1, getting married is the most important thing to me in my life right now. Number 2, getting married will complete me as a person. Again, disagree is 1, absolutely agree is 10. And number 3, there is nothing I want more than being married. Again, 1 absolutely disagree, 10 absolutely agree. All right, write those 3 numbers down and then go to your next column down, and I want you to write value and your total score. Mine was 28. Next, we have informational assessment. It's another component variable on determining whether or not you're ready to be married. Same format as before from a scale of 1 to 10. First question, I know what will be required of me once I'm married. I know what is required to have a successful marriage. And I know what steps are needed to becoming a married versus a single person. So when you're transitioning from being married to not, or from being single to not being married, and not being married to being married, you know what's going to be required of you. In my case, my number was 26. I want you to write that number down. The next variable is commitment / efficacy. Now, in this case, In the traditional historical research model, this actually was done as two different variables. But when we tested it, it wasn't, it was, it was so highly correlated, we decided to combine them in our model. And frankly, people can't really delineate based on surveys that we've done whether or not they're answering, are they committed to something, or are they answering, do they believe they can do it? So in this instance, we've combined them in our little short video here to try to give you some information in a short form format to maybe help you with your questions and decisions that you have. Again, 1 to 10 is the scale. I believe my partner is someone who would be a good partner in a marriage. I believe I'm someone who would be a good partner in a marriage. And I am 100% committed to being married. Again, write that number down, your commitment/efficacy score. In my case, it was a 20. So the next variable we want to look at is effort. And when we talk about effort, this is effort related to the change that you're considering. In this case, it's the change of being ready for marriage. So you're going from being not married to being married. So the effort we're measuring is what type of effort have you made on behalf of being ready to be married. Again, scale of 1 to 10, 1 absolutely agree, 1 absolutely disagree, 10 absolutely agree. First question, have you started making plans for life after the wedding? In other words, you're not just focusing on the wedding, but you're focusing on things and you've written down things related to what's going to happen after the wedding. Answer that question as of right now on a scale of 1 to 10. Have you written down goals for your partner during the first year of marriage? So not just for you, but also with you, for you and your partner for the first year of marriage. So have both of you written these goals down? And then finally, have you made notes to know how your daily routine is going to change after you're married? So this type of effort has got you thinking and working towards how my life's going to be different from being single to being married. And it's extremely important that you've actually made some change related effort in regards to that. So my effort score would have been a 15 before I got married. So now you have all the component variables in, and now it's time to just tally it up. So here's how we tally it up. First, you want to take the raw score for context for each variable actually, and then divide it by 3. That gives you an average score column, which is one of the original columns I told you to put down. Mine, in case of context and bias, is an 8.33, values 9.33, so on and so forth. Then I want you to take that average score and divide it by your raw score, which in this case would be 83%. So that's your average score of 8.33 divided by 25 gives you 83%. Okay? Now, I want you to take the total score of your average, the total of your average scores, which is 37.67. So that's the total average score for you. Multiply that times 2. And that number is your total readiness score. So in this case, your total readiness score to be married is a 75.33. Now, before you say, hey, wait a minute, that's a C, that's not how this scale works. So I don't want you to be upset. I want to walk you through what those components, what these scores actually mean and what you can think about them in terms of readiness. But before I do that, I want you to look at your individual variable scores. So in the case of individual variables, I look pretty good in context and bias and value. But my informational assessment 67% and my effort is 50%. Now, regardless of what my state of readiness actually is, it's obvious in those two areas I probably need to do some work prior to getting married. So in the case of effort, I can probably start to think about what more can I do as far as planning, making changes in bank accounts, or all of those types of things that you can start to think about what you can do to improve your effort score. And this is really more related to change related effort. It's not your effort as a human being. It's measuring your change related effort. So you've got a state of being here. You're going to have another state of being while you're married. So what type of things do you need to do to prepare for that change is what this is measuring. And then in information, if you have something that you maybe not know, things that you don't know, Ask someone who is married. Talk to some folks about marriage and what it's like in that first year to try to get more information into what's your life and how it'll be changed before you get married. So, your score is 75.33. What does that mean? Well, along the ARC Readiness Assessment tool, which is the one we've used to do our 5,000 mental health counseling sessions for patients who have been dealing with a variety of mental health issues. A score of 80 to 100 indicates you're probably ready for change. You're ready for the change that we're measuring, in this case, marriage. If you've got a score of 60 to 79, and our score was 75.33 as in our example, we're close to being ready, but there's obviously some areas we can improve upon, like we mentioned, with effort and informational assessment. And then if you've got a score of 0 to 59, you've got a significant lack of readiness. That doesn't mean I'm telling you not to get married. That means, from a standpoint of readiness for the change that you're considering, you're not ready based on the assessment, the psychometric assessment that we've done. So I hope this helps. I hope this gives you some information. If you'd like to learn more, you can check out our website at um, the history of, or the how to university, the how to university. You can click on the link below and it'll take you directly to it. Likewise, we teach courses on a variety of subjects, and we obviously would encourage you to have your spouse or your significant other who's making this change with you think about taking this assessment as well and see where they stack up. If you need any assistance with more detailed analysis, we certainly can do that for couples as well as for organizations, as well as individuals. Again, just reach out to us at the How To University, and we'd be happy to build a customized tool that actually goes into a little bit more detail and a little bit more finite scoring, and one that we use in our counseling business, and as well as our implementations on technology. So this is a rough order of magnitude scale that just gives you kind of a general framework on how you consider whether or not you're ready for a change or not. So I hope this helps, and I hope this is something that you can use. Again, if you want to check out more information, check out the links below for the different websites that we have and the different tools that we provide. And thank you. Have a great day.